We are going to talk about the Big Ben by Art of the Exhale. So, the Big Ben by Art of the Exhale has kind of flown under the radar so far, and this seems to be the case with pretty much everything by Art of the Exhale until a couple reviews get out there, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this review. You guys know I'm like a borderline fanboy. Actually, Jerry, who's in the room, is too when it comes to the Art of the Exhale stuff. And the reason for that is because the stuff is incredible. It's very innovative, like I said. He does different... I mean, the designs that he's coming up with are different than other stuff that's on the market. You're seeing new things from this modder. Which is not the case with a lot of the other devices that you see coming out on the market. There's always like one or two little things that are changed. Pardon me, I need to get some tool out here. But I mean, there's only so many ways you can make a tube mod, and only so many ways you can make a Genesis Addy. That was why I was so excited about the Arrow last week, because it was such an innovative design. But Art of the Exhale is doing some really, really cool stuff with some of these atomizers. So, yes, I am you're right, Naughty. I am totally an Art of the Exhale fanboy. It's not borderline. It's true. But it's because the stuff's amazing. I almost dropped the F-bomb. Ooh, shame on me. This will be on YouTube later, so I don't want to try. I'm going to try not to drop any F-bombs. But anyway, the Big Ben. So let's talk about the Big Ben. This is the Big Ben from Art of the Exhale. It is big. The name is appropriate. It is a big old titanium Addy. It is tall. It's made basically 100% titanium, with the exception of O-rings and a couple. The body of the device is 100% titanium, and obviously the tank is not. It has a 510 connection, made of solid titanium. Again, titanium floor, pillars, ducting, as he says. So all the airflow is all titanium. The air hole, similar to the other silica devices that he has, where you have the little air hole on the side here, and the air actually flows in and then up, and then there's a post on the inside that I'll show you guys. The diameter on it is 19 millimeter. The height without a drip tip is tall. It's 75 millimeters tall. So if you're looking for something stealthy, this is not for you. This thing is big. And even the images that he's been posting on Vaporwall have been kind of like showing off that this thing is pretty gargantuan. It holds about 5 milliliters of juice, weighs about 45 grams, so it is super light because it is titanium. And it has adjustable airflow. So what I'm going to do, just so you guys know, is kind of compare the way that this vapes to other similar products on the market, other devices that are designed to be used with silica, eco-wool, cotton type, non-mesh, non-Genesis style wick material, talk about, you'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So, what comes with this guy? So it comes with a little bag of goodies, okay? You get a little bag of goodies here. It comes with an extra tank, this little plastic bit here. It actually comes with a little plastic drip tip. It comes with a little piece of mesh, but that's not for the wick. And I'll explain that in a little bit. It also comes with extra O-rings. It comes with extra screws. It comes with wire. So it comes with everything that you need to get the thing set up, just like all of the stuff from Art of the Exhale. They give you a bunch of little extras in the bag, little goodie bag. You can also get it with a short body if you want to use it in dripper mode. Okay, I'm going to be discussing it mainly in the primary mode, Big Ben mode, not in dripper mode. But it is available for an extra $25. You can get this titanium dripper top for it and use it as a drip tank, or as a dripper. The base price for it is 130 bucks. So again, very reasonable, especially compared to stuff like the K Fun, which is going for around $200 retail. Um, and yeah, and the availability isn't too bad. They go on sale every, at least once a month. Usually keeps it open for a week or two. So if you keep an eye on the Art of the Exhale subforum over on Vaporwall, you're going to be able to get your hands on one of these. Not a ton of them sold the last time around, and I'm sure part of that was because of the size, because it is big. But I think the main thing was just because people weren't aware of the device. Um, so let's talk about it. The We already went over what it comes with and the dimensions and all that good stuff. I think it's a pretty nice looking device, aside from the fact that it is honking huge. It is really big. The only gripe that I have is that it doesn't really look wonderful on a 22 millimeter device because it is 19 millimeter at the base. This would look good on a 20 millimeter like a Precise or a Mancos 22, or something like this. If you have a pipe with like a 20 millimeter top on it, I think this looks good. This is huge. I mean, if you see this and compare, I have very big hands, and this thing is taller with the drip tip than my hand from tip to palm. So this is quite big. Yeah, it would look good on a Pravari as well. Good point. Because that's got the 19 millimeter top on there as well. So let's talk about the design of this guy, and I want to explain how these features work on this device. So first of all, filling it is super easy. You've got your drip tip, you've got this little top cap here. To fill it, basically you just take this top portion out completely, and there you've got your tank. And then at the bottom of the tank, you'll see there's a little piece, and hopefully autofocus will cooperate here. There's a little piece of mesh that's rolled up. Come on, there you go. Little piece of mesh that's rolled up there and stuck into that hole, okay? You get plenty of replacement mesh. But basically, that little piece of mesh is what's essentially going to control the juice flow through to the wick in the base of the device. Very different design. I don't know why nobody thought of this before, because it's super simple. You don't have to deal with all the different, with the regulating pressure like you do with the K-Fun, and worrying about the flooding and leaking, and with the juice flow control on like an Odysseus or an Ithaca or Penelope. It just works. I mean, and we'll talk about that in a little more detail in a moment. But basically, all you do to fill it is you unscrew this top, or the bottom part here that has the juice feed hole, and then fill it. You don't need a syringe. You just pour it right out of the juice bottle until you get to the top. Screw that back on, and you're done. Or you can use a syringe and put the syringe down the center of that little piece of mesh and fill it that way. Now, let me put this back in here. So this just slides right back into the body and snaps down into the device. So it's got a titanium sleeve around the outside of the tank. Now, in the base, I'll show this to you real quick. Got my dirty wick. You can see I've been using this for a while. So this is my little wick that I've got here. What I actually had set up a kind of a the butterfly style wick with the loops on the top. However, I trimmed them a little bit so that they were just the right height to come in contact with the bottom of the tank on the inside there, which I would recommend if you're going to set one of these up. You want the wick to be long enough that it touches that piece of mesh in the juice hole there, but you don't want it to be so long that it's going to restrict the airflow. So, speaking of airflow, you've got a hole down the center, as you can see there, down the center of the tank. And again, with this raised air hole idea that he's got here, you can see that post in the center, and you can see the little air hole there. Come on, focus. Work with me here. Come on, baby. Slocus. We'll try without the hand, and then bring the hand in. You suck. Alright, hold on. Let's take off autofocus. Okay, so here you see what I'm talking about. So you have that center post in between the two, right underneath the coil there. That's where the airflow is going to hit the wick. And you can see the hole right by my fingers there. That's where the airflow comes in. Okay? So basically, and the juice feeding, like I said, because of that little piece of mesh, all that does is it slows the juice flow down to the point where, you know, as long as you have some of the wick touching that piece, you don't have any issues at all with flooding or dry hits. This thing just works. It just works. I am surprised at how well it works, to be quite honest with you. I saw the design. I was like, how, you know, why has nobody done this super simple design before? And we have all these complicated designs like the K-Fun, and like the GG products that are so super complicated and have all of these pressure regulation and all this other garbage. You know, when you go on a plane with it and then you got to have juice emptied into your pocket. Not an issue with this. So then, on top of that, I want to show you something else here. And you may need, you know, a tool to loosen the bottom cap because it's a little bit stiff. So I'm actually using a pair of tweezers to kind of get in there. But this bottom piece here actually comes off as well. And this is going to allow me to show you the other really, really cool little feature. So, inside here, inside the base, you've got, you know, you see the air hole you got on the side. Inside the base, there's 3 holes there and that screw. The air is coming in the hole in the side of this piece right here and going in through those 3 air holes, okay? Now, inside that brass piece there, I'm going to show this to you real quick, so bear with me. So you need to unscrew this. Now, you don't have to do this in use. I am just disassembling this to show this to you. So, there is, inside the center of this, so you got this little brass piece that I just took out. Inside the center of that little brass piece, there is a pin. Can you see that little thing pointing out there, that little pin? It comes to a cone. It's a cone and it comes to a point, okay? That is a adjustable pin that allows you to adjust the airflow here. So what you do is basically you stick a 1/16 inch, so I guess that would be a 1.5 millimeter, so a 1.5 millimeter or a 1/16 inch Allen key into this hole, which is the hole inside the center of the 510 connection, and you turn the Allen key, and that adjusts this pin up and down, which then can adjust the airflow. You can tighten it all the way to completely sealed if you wanted to. So this device actually does have, and I didn't even realize it when I first got it until I was checking out the features online, this device does have adjustable airflow. And hold on one moment while I put it back together. Again, now, like I said, in practice, you do not need to disassemble it like I just did to adjust the airflow. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like on the inside there. So now, again, it's assembled again. You've got the 3, little holes there. We'll put this little piece back on the bottom, and I'll show you again how this is how you adjust the airflow here. Let me get the threads lined up here. There we go. Okay. Let's get that on there nice and snug. There we go. So, all that you do, if you want to adjust the airflow, again, now it's completely assembled. You don't have to disassemble it to do it. I just wanted to show you that. That little hole in the center of the 510 pin, that is an Allen key screw in there. 1/16 inch, or I believe 1.5 millimeter. Just push that in there and turn it, tighten it to tighten the draw, and loosen it to open up the draw. And you can get anywhere from, I believe, 1.3 or 1.4 millimeter all the way to as tight as you possibly can get. So you really have quite a bit of flexibility there with the draw on the device. which is really cool. And kind of like the K-Fun where you need a little tiny screwdriver. With this, you need an Allen key to do it. But once you adjust it one time, you don't need to worry about it again. It's good to go, no issues. So, so that's kind of what it looks like, all inside and out. It's really easy to fill. It's got adjustable airflow. I haven't had any issues at all with this thing over wicking or under wicking, or no dry hits, nothing. And I've got it set up with I think I have it set up with a 0.9 or a 1 ohm coil. So I'm getting really good, warm vape, really good flavor. Let's talk about how it vapes actually. Let me take a couple puffs off of it. Hold on. As you can see, the vapor production is fantastic. Um, oh, so good. So, yeah, I mean, the flavor and the vapor is fantastic on it. It's nice and warm. And that is one of the nice things about a silica device, is that you will typically get, it will be a warmer vapor that you get most of the time, unless you're talking about a really, really tiny chamber, like on like the Mini Micro or something like that. You could technically set this up with mesh as well. It's going to be a little tougher though to get it just the exact size that you need, because you would need the mesh wick to be touching that mesh that comes out of the base of the tank of juice, or else I think it will flood if you don't actually have your wick material touching that. But it's not difficult to set it up so that it does, because this top cap isn't screw-in. So once you set your wick up and you push the wick, you coil it, you push the wick up when you tighten this, you can just pop this part off and then look down in there to see where the wick is, and then line the mesh piece up with it and pop it back down in there. Because, like I said, this isn't threaded. So, and as I said, the quality of the vapor, the warmth of the vapor, the flavor I'm getting from this thing is just absolutely fantastic. And it holds a lot of juice. In summary, as far as the positives and negatives go, it's really easy to set up. It's not finicky at all, especially compared to some of these other silica addies on the market right now. It's like you get the same kind of vape that you get from the Promete, which you guys know I love the Promete, except you have adjustable airflow, a larger juice capacity, and you don't have to deal with filler. So it's like, you're basically talking about, it looks very different obviously, but you're basically talking about a Promete with no filler, adjustable airflow, and a larger juice capacity. And as you guys know, the Promete was my favorite silica addy, so guess what? I have a new favorite silica addy, and it's the Big Ben from Art of the Exhale. I think it's better than the Promete. You can convert it into drip mode like the Promete, as I said. It's definitely better than the K-Fun. It's a very similar vape to the K-Fun, but it doesn't have all the finicky bullshit that you have to deal with the K-Fun. I know kind of once you get the hang of the K-Fun, it doesn't leak and stuff, but still, I don't trust the valve on it. That little tiny thing is going to break eventually, in my opinion. I feel like it's over-engineered. This is a much simpler design. It's much less finicky. It's a lot easier to fill. It's great. So, and it's also a lot cheaper. How can you go wrong? Highly recommend it. This is the Big Ben, as I said, from Art of the Exhale. The only negatives is it's really tall. That's pretty much it. And it doesn't have a Pyrex tank also. So if you are vaping something that's going to be a corrosive juice, like some of the citrusy stuff and fluid and things like that, then maybe this isn't for you. The Promete would actually be a better fit because it's all titanium. Even the juice tank is titanium as well. Otherwise, I would say Big Ben all the way. This thing rocks. It's awesome. So yeah, and it also has a drip mode. This little guy here, I know I didn't really talk about it on the review, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you take this whole tank off. You've already got this part set up as a dripper. You just pop this little guy on, and then you've got a drip tank too. So that is the Big Ben from Art of the Exhale. Absolutely love this thing. Um, Once again, Art of the Exhale does it again. This is my new favorite silica atomizer. Um, just as good a vape, if not better, that you get on any of the other ones without all the BS. And it's so much easier to set up. Well, actually, the K-Fun's pretty easy to set up, but it's so much easier to set up than like an Ithaca. You don't have to deal with, it's no non-resistance wire. It's just regular resistance wire. That's all you need. So I'm going to take another vape and then we'll move on. Oh, yeah.